Hello everyone, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to another video. It's gonna be a more chilled out sort of video. It's sort of a party report on my trip to Posadas Party 2025 in Spain. And I was writing a report on my Patreon page by text, explaining all the different things that I did for Posadas, and mostly like a mini report to thank the people from my Patreon for supporting me, and that their monthly support is the reason that I can afford to go to these kind of events, so I can pay for the food there and the traveling and accommodation and stuff like that. So your support helps in me being able to physically attend more parties. And yeah, so how did the trip to go to Posadas come about? What did we do there? That's what I'm going to cover in this video in a very chilled out way. So it's going to be a lengthy video. So yeah, I had seen Posadas before taking place. It's mostly dedicated on the Amiga scene of Spain. Not many foreigners go there. I had talked with Grapey before at Deadline and at Revision, and he had told me that he had attended Posadas last year and that it was fun. The location was nice. And I'm also at the Telegram group from the Spanish Demoscene, because I'm in all the Telegram groups that I can about the Demoscene to know more about them, to be able to report on Demoscene Report. And I was talking with them and they were hyped about Posadas Party. Then I joined the Posadas Party Telegram group as well. And I got to know a few of the people there, and it feels like a very family sort of event, like everybody knows each other. They've been organizing. The original Posadas was in 1995, and then they stopped organizing it. It was very hot. It was one of the things that they were talking about, was the highest record of temperature recorded in Spain at the time. And they had troubles just running the computers because it was so hot. They had to buy all of the fans that existed on the village close by. And it's a very small village, Posadas. Like, this is organized in a very small village, and it's on the top of a hill, which is like forest sanctuary sort of thing with a little resort on top. So there are like some hiking trails around there for people to be in contact with the nature. There are some species that are being preserved there, a lot of birds, so people go there for bird watching a lot. And they have a small area with a small bar, restaurant, and a playground area for kids, and slightly big warehouse for events. And that's where they have a Posadas Party. So the location is really cool, it's really nice, very chilled out, very relaxing. So very good location. And you have an overview of the entire plateau of Malaga there, so it's really cool. So, not Malaga, Cordoba. Yeah, I had heard about Posadas before, and I thought that would be cool that we could go there as the Portuguese Demoscene community to try to invite more people from Spain to come attend Inércia, because we haven't seen any Spanish people coming to the latest Inércia demo parties. And there are not many active Spanish Demoscene people compared to, 20 years ago. But there are still some, especially this Amiga group. There's a very vocal Amiga group in Spain, which is connected to the Posadas Party. So yeah, I thought it would be cool that we could go there. We could go by car, and I was throwing that idea around. And there was this new guy, which is not really an active demo scener. He's a coder, but he has never did a demo, and he was interested in coming. So okay, we have two people, and now we need a car. And Genio was a bit reluctant to come. He was the one with the car. He ended up being convinced to come, or agreeing to come if I would help him pay for some expenses, stuff like that. He got a new job recently, so he has money again for traveling and stuff like that. So he agreed to also come. Jae also always is complaining that he wants to visit more parties outside of Portugal again. We traveled with him to Evoke once and to Demobit as well. So it's not his first time going to parties outside of Portugal, but he wanted to do a new one again. And yeah, this one was cool. We were hoping for a few more people to come, but they were busy or stuff like that. Then we had a last minute French friend of ours who is living here in Portugal and helped us with Inércia organizing as well. He also ended up coming. So we were 5 people overall in Genio's car, which was pretty good. In terms of expenses, it was mostly covered by Inércia Association. Because we take this as an outreach effort and put it in the bills in terms of gasoline and tolls and that kind of stuff. So that's good. And managed to book a place that was cheap-ish in a nearby village from there, but we do need a car to go from the village to the party place. So yeah, a lot of Airbnb places there for rent. It's like rural, not really rural, but a lot of people come to Spain to spend some holidays in the middle of nowhere in a nice place. So, and then these are some good villas, not very packed, not a lot of things, but close enough to civilization. There are some nature stuff to see around, so there is some tourism activity there for that kind of thing. As far as I understood, that's why they have a few of these houses available for groups to rent out. Some of them even had swimming pools and stuff. They were a bit more expensive. Anyways, so we managed to have enough people to fill up a car to go to Posadas. We went there. The people were really lovely. The moment they saw us, they recognized that we were, the Portuguese committee. They said hello. They were very thrilled to have us there. Very, very, very friendly people, and you can really tell that they are like a family. They all know each other. They all talk a lot, very joyfully with each other. So they've known each other for many, many years. But they welcomed us with open arms. They were very interested what we were doing, what we were working on, why we had decided to go there. And usually I have this problem when I go with other Portuguese seniors to foreign parties. They don't know anyone, and they're very scared to talk with people, and I usually have to introduce people around. This time I didn't have to do that, which was nice. They managed to socialize on their own and even talk with each other. And some of them suddenly realized that I'm a bit famous in the Demoscene because I do the Demoscene report, so people recognize me. So at some point people were just like, oh, do you know Philip? Are you sure? You probably know Philip. Like, no, not everyone knows me. It's okay. Not everyone has to watch the Demoscene reports. I'm still happy to meet them and stuff. So yeah, it was nice. I met a few new people. Had some good talks about different hardware. And we even had some entries for that. Genio was busy doing his tracked music entry. Jair was finishing his Sega Saturn demo that he's been working on for over a year now, doing an engine for that and then redoing the engine for that. And he finally managed to deliver a demo out of it. And yeah, I had been working on a couple of productions as well, which was what I wanted to show you. I had a lot of effects for the TIC 80, so my main default was I'm gonna make a TIC 80 demo for this, and most of the competitions at I should probably turn on the audio. Most of the competitions on Posadas were targeting Amiga. I never developed for Amiga in my life. I know the limitations on the tracker. You can do 4-channel mods. I wasn't really feeling like tracking music though. I got too used to Just Call a Buzz. I don't really like tracking music anymore. But Genio was doing something for that. So I looked at the Wild competition for making something because it's open to any platform. And since I had a lot of leftover effects from doing all the backgrounds for Demoscene report and stuff like that, I decided to do a demo. So I picked a track that I had apparently done with Genio for like a Love Bite music disc of some sort. I have no recollection of having made that track. I think it was all Genio that made that track. apparently I helped with something, and it's credited to both of us. Anyways, I found that track. It's not a very heard track. I just decided to reuse it. It was quite short though, so I asked Genio to do a few extra patterns and do a few more scenes for it. And he added a few popcorn sounds to it. Anyways, let's take a look at them. It's very short, so... And F11 screwed up. Okay, sorry. This is the theme to Inércia Demo Party, so it's the main invitation part. And previously there was a small jingle to 1995 by Coolers and MFX. I hope some people recognize that. And then it's just the popcorn theme, looping over and over, which were the extra patterns that Genio added. This effect you couldn't see at all, the rest of ours, because it was like still daytime, so people just saw black background. And a weird looking plasma effect. So yeah, so that's pretty much the demo. All of them were recycled effects that I had done previously. Some were used on the demo that we did for, I think, Shadow Party a couple years back. Other were just some small size coding things that I recycled, or background effects for the Demoscene report that I also recycled. So not much work added into it. It was mostly just combining the stuff and figuring out the order of the effects. Nothing really new in terms of code there, but I just wanted to have an entry to, you know, happy entry to invite people to come to Inércia. So I think mission accomplished in that regard. And we got third place in the wild competition with that, which was fine. It was actually, the wild competition actually had some tough competition. I'm going to show you real quick here. Had a very cool 64K intro for the Android, which is not a very common platform. That got second place, and the winner was the Sega Saturn demo from Jae that got first place. Which I'm a bit critical of that, like in terms that the music is such a banger that the visuals feel that they are a bit too static, so it needed some extra camera cuts to make it more dynamic. That's the main, and I told Jai this as well, and I think he will add those in the final version of the demo that he's working on. There was also a music disc by Grotestical released there, a couple of funny videos as well that could easily have placed higher. So I'm happy overall with the placing of this fast little demo that we did. And again, the main point was just to let the Spanish scener know that we're having a demo party in Portugal, and they're very much welcome to come if they feel like, you know, participating, having fun in the beginning of December, 6 to 7 of December. And then I was looking for other competitions that I could do stuff for. Actually, PMPF, which is one of the people who were coming with us for the event, was actually trying to test the Visual Studio Code extension done by Abyss to allow you to develop for Amiga with the emulator inbuilt for VS Code. And he was testing that. He was doing some vibe coding on that, just having a simple image on screen and some sprites on the bottom. And he made a joke about, and then he never finished the demo. He was busy with other stuff. He had music playing, he had that thing, and then he was trying to get another music player working, and he couldn't do it, and then nothing was working anymore, and he gave up. That was like 1 month before the party started. Anyways, at that point, he had that single screen with our Prime Minister, converted image of our Prime Minister, and some what we call the caralhão, which is doing like this, like flipping the bird. And it was like a sort of political joke message that we would rather have another blackout than having this asshole in power again. And the context for this is that our prime minister was noticed having some corruption dealings, and he was impugnated by the opposition or something like that. Someone will probably correct me. And then we went to elections, and he reapplied himself, or he recandidated himself, because he felt it was not... he had done nothing wrong, despite people constantly asking for more information on the thing that seems to be a wrong and abuse of power. And yeah, he got elected again. And now we even have a bigger majority on the right, and now the right is controlling the parliament. So yeah, some people are not very happy with that we have a known corrupt person in power, and that we managed to give the right, the majority of government, to be able to change laws at will that will affect the social state in Portugal. Anyways, don't want to get more political than that. Anyways, he made that joke, and I recalled, yeah, the blackout happened a couple months ago, and it was criticized at the time that, we are not doing enough to have autonomy on our electrical grid, and that we sold a lot of it to the Chinese. I think the electrical grid is still working. There are some problems in it, but the main problem was not Portuguese autonomy. That's just political speak, in my opinion. This doesn't matter. Anyways, it's something that we have in common with the Spanish people, because the blackout started in Spain, and since we depended on Spain in that particular moment, we also got affected, and the entire grid, both in Spain and Portugal, went down at that period. And there was a report, meanwhile, explaining why exactly it failed. It was because there were like 3 different fails happening in the space of a few milliseconds. So it's not something that you can naturally predict, and it's hard to recover from once the entire grid goes down. You have to open things one at a time to make sure that it doesn't go down again. So yeah, complicated thing to manage. It doesn't happen very often in the Peninsula Iberica, so people are politicizing that matter, in my humble opinion. Anyways, something we had in common with the Spanish people. So I thought it would be an interesting topic to do something about, either the demo that he was working on. So I decided to not do a demo about it, because I didn't want to have 2 demos about the same subject. So I looked at the things. I could do some size coding, but that would require learning assembler, or I could try to make a game. So I prototyped the game. I had a game idea that you could, since it was the blackout and everything was going down, you would have to keep it alive somehow. And the best way to keep alive was on those old Olympic games that you had to tap 2 keys together very fast. And the faster you typed, the more it would, the faster you would get momentum. So I thought of a similar concept, but you having to do that on the entire keyboard. And the entire keyboard would be the different zones of the Iberian Peninsula. Where the hell do I have that? This one? So I did the prototype for the TIC-80, which was... the concept is pretty much the same. It looks very similar. And if you type 2 keys very close together, then there are some events that happen every now and again, simulating the early blackouts that happen in Badajoz, and then the disconnect from France, for example. And if you type very fast there, you recover a little bit, but at the same time, the entire network is slowly deteriorating, and then faster and faster starts deteriorating even more, until you have the blackout, the Apagón. All the text is in Spanish to have more points with the Spanish people. There's no English translation, there's no Portuguese translation. Everything was written in Spanish, so I put my translation skills to the test. I asked a few friends for some ideas. Anyways, I did this little prototype on TIC-80, and then I was shopping around for engines in Amiga that I could use to implement this in Amiga. Like, very basic game. You don't really need assembler to go that deep. It's just a few sprites or a few graphics changing when you hit the keys. Should be doable. I found a few games, but it felt like a bit of a steep learning curve to use them. And then I recall that Pellicus had been developing this engine called Amiga++. He did a few demos with that. And we had some talks at the revision that he was open to collaborate with stuff. He was talking about the mega demo that we did for assembly for TIC80 a few times back. And Pellicus was originally coding in TIC80, but his original machine was the Amiga, so he started coding for the Amiga as well since then. So I know him from the TIC80 scene, but I know he's been active on the Amiga recently as well. So I knew he had an engine, so I reached out to him. Hey, do you still want to collaborate? He didn't have much time to, implement the stuff himself, but he did have the engine and he could, explain to me how some things are not working properly. So that was a bit of a collaboration that we did. I had a basic boilerplate that he sent me. I ported all of the code from Lua to C++, getting all the structures working, all the if games, the game logic sort of thing. We got the music playing, there were some bugs, I asked him about the bugs, he managed to fix a few of them, the input wasn't working very well as well, we had a few trial and errors with that, but overall was a couple of weeks of development. At the same time, I needed a new graphics, so I asked Sule. Sule has been doing a lot of graphics art for different things. So yeah, we managed to do this thing. He's doing now. Again, everything entirely in Spanish, no clue how well it translates or not, and I asked the Genio to do a few patterns, which was a lot easier to do, since he could use OpenMPT tracker for this, and the concept is pretty much the same. You have all the keys on the keyboard, you're mapping there, the events happen, the thing starts deteriorating, it starts deteriorating faster and faster, and you have to alternate keys close together to keep things alive. And the longer you go, the faster the deterioration happens, and you end up typing in all of the keyboard at the same time. So it's a nice way to test your keyboard, and has some funny messages as well to keep people entertained. I think people really liked it during the presentation, and I was happy with it. I finally managed to code something for the Amiga, which I never thought I would do, even if it was C++, so it's a bit of a cheat. I mean, real Amiga demos are supposed to be coded in assembler, from what I hear. So yeah. So this was the little game that I did. And usually there are not that many games released at Posadas, only like 2 or 3, so I thought, that should be easy to get top 3. This year in particular, there was a competition being organized by Amiga Wave, which are the developers of a Red Pill engine, which is an engine used for making games on Amiga. So there were like some 4 or 5 games from that competition that were also screened at Posadas. The deadline for both were very close together. They are independent evaluations, so like the jury from Posadas is different from the jury from Amiga Wave, but you could show the game on both competitions, pretty much. So yeah. Packed with a lot of things, so it didn't place very well since our game was rather simple, and I can understand our rating considering the graphics work that the other games had, and they had a lot more time invested in them. I think our concept is interesting. I think people really liked that as well. It was funny. I'm happy with how the game turned out. A bit disappointed on being placed like 7th of 9 overall, but it's okay. It's fine. People understood the concept. People liked the game, and I think people will try playing it again, even if it's a couple of times to test their keyboards, stuff like that. But yeah. I reviewed the other games on the Demoscene report, so I'm not gonna cover that. But yeah, a lot of cool games released here overall. I did feel a bit bad I didn't do anything for like actual demo and intro competitions, but I'm not... It's hard to code full screen effects on C++ in Amiga. Either you do like a 3D engine out of that, or not really abusing the hardware specifications of things. So I didn't feel confident enough to try to make an actual intro or demo, even using Pelican's engine. Maybe in the future I'll give it another try to see if it works or not. Anyways, yeah. What else can I say? We had a good time there. The food was all right. I always was told that you eat less during the summer in Spain. That is a lie. We ate a lot. I was very full all the time. The people were very friendly. We made a few good friends. A lot of people told us that, yeah, they were thinking of coming to Inércia now, which was our main objective. So I think overall the objective was achieved. There were a few other productions also released. The pixel graphics... OCS pixel graphics. This entry by Harvest was also submitted there remotely, also inviting people to come to Inércia. So, yeah. Objective achieved. Meet more Spanish sceners, try to convince them to come to Inércia at the end of December. The trip back was a bit hard, was very hot. The car started breaking down as well. So it was a bit of an adventure, but we managed to arrive safe and sound, and the car was repaired meanwhile. So everyone and everything survived in the end. We did catch some COVID as well. I was like a week under after the event because I also got some. And other people at the Telegram group also were complaining of the same, that they also got hit hard. Some of them even during the party were already showing tiredness and symptoms of COVID. So yeah, it was definitely spread around and some people got it. Yeah, I don't know what else can I say. Cool party. I recommend people, especially if you're like a foreigner and would like to attend an Amiga party. I think they would treat you very well in Posadas if you're planning to come. If you're like from Denmark or the UK and thinking of coming for Posadas, I think you would have a very good time. So yeah, highly recommend Posadas. And yeah, just wanted to do this little report explaining all the different things that we did for Posadas in particular. And thank you again to all of my Patreon supporters for allowing me to have enough financial leeway to be able to, consider going to these places and spend money there, for food, drinks, accommodation, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really is appreciated. Yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this chilled out report on Posadas. There were a few other releases happened there. I guess I should probably talk about the OCS Crack Throw competition, which was like the main highlight. There were a couple of world records being shown there. Very good presentations as well. But yeah, I already talked about the entire Posadas releases on some of Demoscene reports, so you should check that. Yeah. That's it for this video. Bye bye everybody. Have a great day.